Michelle from Stitch and Hustle blog. I'm super excited to be here today talking to you about blocking. I'm going to go over some tips and tricks with you, all my favorite blocking tools, when you should block, always, how to block, and why we block. So we will get your feet and garments wet and get you on the road to a block party. You will go from things looking like this to this. There are two primary blocking techniques that I subscribe to. The first is steam blocking, which I am a huge fan of. And the other is wet blocking, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And that is actually the best way to block most of your garments and makes. However, it does require some supplies and can also require some space. So let's go over what you're going to need for blocking. These are my favorite tools and things that I use. There's a variety out on the market, but today I'm going to be telling you what I use. The first thing that I use is Michele wash. Now, I have to tell you that this is the scent called Rapture, and I just got a huge big bottle because I love this scent. It's amazing. It's the scent that Kristen Omdahl collaborated with them on, and I love it. I also have a little bottle that they sent me, but because I use so much, I grabbed a big bottle too. So yay, Michele. I have a big old, super sized old bath towel. It's still absorbent, but I do need to have a big towel so I can block big things like this shawl, or little things, or lots of things if I'm doing multiple. So you do want a big towel. I use a blocking bucket. Now, this was $2 at the dollar store. I know a lot of people use their sink. I don't like to use the sink because my sink usually has dishes in it. Sorry, I'm that person. But this way, I know there's no particles, there's no crumbs. This is always just for blocking, and it give it a good rinse and a good wash, and then it's ready for the next time. And it was a very good $2 investment. I'm very happy with that. I got this actually at end of season after summer on sale. I think it was $4 before that sale. So still a good investment. I also use blocking pins. Now, I got these blocking pins on Amazon. And these are Knitter's Pride blocking pins, and they are fabulous. I like that there's two different sizes, and I like that they have the little holes for lace blocking sticks. I'm not going to be talking about blocking lace today, so I'm not going to show you my sticks, but yes, that's a bonus. And Knitter's Pride then came out with, and I love these, the rainbow version. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that because they're the same thing, but they're prettier. Okay, the next thing you're gonna want is blocking mats. Yay! These are the Knitter's Pride blocking mats. Now, a lot of people will say you can use your towel and just lay it flat on your towel, and yes, you can. I don't do that. I pin it, I use the blocking mats, and I'm a big fan of them. So, yeah. That's what I use. And those are my blocking tools. It's not a lot. I keep everything actually in this bucket. It lives here in my studio, my craft studio. This is my blocking bucket. So what do you need to block? You need all your tools. And then you take all your tools out of your bucket and let's block. So the first thing I do is I fill my little bucket with water. Cool water, not hot, not warm, not cold, cool water. I want to make sure that my item is fully immersed in the water, so I do fill it as much as needed. Sometimes it's just to like the first line, sometimes it's in the middle, depends on what I'm blocking. But you do want full immersion of your item. I put a bit of my Michele wash in. Now, I use this small cap to measure size, so I basically put a cap full. But when I take out the big bottle, I will use half a cap full. But you want just enough for it to be a good soak. You're not actually washing the item. Then, once you've got your water and you've swished around your Michele so that it's fully dispersed in the water, you take your item, in this case, my little mini shawl that is fully rounded, and I drop it in. And I let it soak for a good couple of minutes. I'll zhuzh, 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 to help it take in some of that Michele. Yes, that is a technical term, zhuzh, zhuzh, zhuzh. It's important. And then it's ready for me to go to the next step. So I'm going to take my item out, and I'm going to be careful to squeeze it dry or actually not dry, but squeeze the excess water out. You don't want to twist and wring. That's going to actually really badly affect your fiber that you spent all that time making beautiful. So be sure, squeeze the excess water. And I always have my bucket right next to my super, super soft, fluffy towel. So I squeeze the excess water and I put the item right onto the towel. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is take the item and lay it flat on my towel. Now, it will be wet. In this case, it's not because I faked the soaking part. But once it's laid on your towel, like such, you're going to get those curls out. It's going to be fully immersed in your Eucalan wash and water, and it's going to be easy to flatten and lay out, and it will look something like that. Then what I do is I roll that towel to get even more excess moisture out of my garment. This is actually a really important part where I kind of like squeeze and push and knead the towel to take up as much of the excess moisture and water as I can. And then I gently unroll it. And being careful not to pull or twist, I take the item, in this case my mini shawl, and I put it on my blocking mats. And this is where shaping comes in. So if you're doing a sweater or if you're doing a shawl that requires shaping, this is where the shaping step happens. So you lay your item, in this case my mini shawl, out on your blocking mats. This one was designed to take one square, but what I love about the Knitter's Pride blocking mats is that you can assemble them as needed. So in the set, you get, I think it's 9 pieces, and I can lay them out as I need, so it's not always a square. So sometimes it follows the flow of a like triangle or asymmetrical shawl so that I can get more length than width. Once your item is on your blocking mats, you're going to strategically pin it. And I pin along the side, and this is where the shaping comes in. So this is where I'm helping it uncurl and let it know that it's supposed to be in this shape. So I'm going to leave it on my blocking mats to dry. And when it's dry, usually takes my things about a day, sometimes a day and a half, depending on how much sun there is, because I leave them in a portion of my studio where there's a lot of really good light. So when it's dry, I just simply take the pins off, and you can see that it wants to stay in its shape, which is what's so lovely, because that's really what shaping, and you can see these stitches went from being taut, tight stitches, you see that I first worked up, into these beautiful settled blooming stitches. And when you work with colors or variegated yarn, this is really a rewarding step, because all of your hard work and stitches kind of pays off as the fabric blooms. And I love this part where you kind of get the reveal of the item. And there it is, all blocked. It's a quick cleanup. I dump this down the sink, sometimes the toilet, and wait until that gets a good flush. Quick, dry, and throw everything back in the bin. Those are my wet blocking tips and my favorite tools. You can find out a lot more about blocking. I do go into it much more in depth over at Stitch and Hustle blog. And depending on when you're seeing this, if it's when it's just released, I have a giveaway going on. The wonderful companies that I work with, Eucalan and Knitter's Pride, have teamed up to give you my favorite blocking tools. No kidding, you're going to get a full set of Knitter's Pride blocking mats, a set of the new rainbow blocking pins, and this incredible Eucalan getaway pack, which has a sample of all of their scents in it, including my very favorite from Kristen Omdahl. So head over to Stitch and Hustle blog if you want to enter that and have a block party with all of your garments. Thanks for joining me.